B'siyata Dishmaya, we are learning in Parashat Vayeishev, according to Likutei Halachot, on the part of where Yosef has the dream and he sees the sun and the moon and 11 stars bowing down to him. The pasuk says, "Ine hashemesh v'hayareach v'ahad asar kochavim mishtachavim li." He's getting over his story. Nice bombs going off here. He's getting over his story, and he tells his family, he tells his brother, and he tells his father, "I saw the sun and the moon and 11 stars bowing down to me." Obviously, there's tons and tons of teachings that come out of this, and the prophetic dream of Yosef showing that he would become the leader of Egypt and the whole entire world, essentially, and provide the sustenance for his family. But let's see what Rabbi Natan has to say about this. In truth, a machloket, a disagreement between two people, is a blemish on the ratzon, on the divine will of Hashem. What's the main disagreement that you could have between two wills of people? I want this, you want that, we disagree. Right? My will is one way, yours is the other. Because of that, all of a sudden there becomes a disagreement. The only reason this happens is because I have my individual will, you have your individual will, and we don't connect all of our wills back to the root of all wills, the desire of desires, Hashem's desire, B'chirat Moshe, which is the aspect of Moshe. Moses the prophet, the root of machloket, of the Sitra Achra, is that the Chachmei HaTeva, the scientists, those who believe in nature purely, shekofrim b'ratzon, they are kofers, they're heretics to the divine will. That's the main aspect of machloket. Shorshami machloket shebekdusha. They're rooted in what you have machloket de kedusha and machloket de sitra achra. You have the machloket in holiness, which is obviously the back and forth between tzaddikim, true tzaddikim, that are trying to get to the truth and to clarify the truth. In that place, there's a small opening that is the root of machloket de sitra achra, the disagreements between people that are not in holy things. From there is this development of, from this holy place of machloket between two tzaddikim trying to find the truth, there's there an opening for the same energy for the negative side, which is the heretics in the sages of nature, meaning the people that are focused completely on this world. The main aspect of machloket between the tzaddikim and the holy people is because they are not connecting all of the wills to the root will, which is the will of wills, which is the aspect of Moshe. So let's see what he said. The truth is, every tzaddik is a true tzaddik, and every kosher person, his intention is desirable in front of heaven. Hashem wants it. Hashem likes that they have good intentions to do the right thing. But even though that's the case, that each one of them, their desire is desireful in heaven, in the end all be all, their opinions are different. They have many, many different opinions. It's impossible that every single tzaddik and every single kosher person will have completely aligned consciousness with everybody else. Two people are not similar one to another. Right? Everybody's unique. Like people are different in their bodies and how they're physically formed, so too they're different in their opinions and in their mind. Therefore, for sure, there's going to be differences between them, their opinions, their paths, and their behaviors. Since the day of creation, there has not been two tzaddikim that are kosher and true tzaddikim that are completely equal in all of their movements in this world. Never happened. ואף על פי ששניהם הולכים בדרך אחד ויונקים מרב אחד, even though they're both going on one path and they're both pulling from the same Rebbe, אף על פי כן יש חילוקים רבים בדרכיהם והנהגותיהם. Even though that's the case, there's big differences between the way that they behave and the paths that they're going on. כמו שהעריך רבנו, like Rabbi Nachman went long and saying, לספר ולהפליג בגודל החילוקים בין הצדיקים הגדולים שהיו סמוכים לזמננו. Rabbi Nachman spoke about the greatness, how great the differences were between the tzaddikim, the great tzaddikim, that were very close to his time. שכולם הם מתלמידי הבעל שם טוב והמגיד, they're all students of the Baal Shem Tov and the Magid of Mezrich. They all came from the same school. How are they all so different? Chabad, Breslev, Skver, Satmer, Chernobyl, it goes on and on and on and on and on. Tons of tzaddikim that came out of that school, and they're all different. Aya shalom gadol b'neihem. There was immense peace between all of them. They were mamash aligned. ואף על פי כן היו מחולקים מאוד בדרכיהם. Even though there was a lot of peace between them, there was a big machloket in the way that they acted. שזה היה נוסע על מדינה ודרש ברבים, וזה ישב בביתו. One would go and travel around all of the different places and talk to in the masses and talk to people and try to do kiruv, and the other ones would sit in their house and learn. זה העריך מאוד בתפילה והתפלל לפני התבל בצעקות והתלהבות גדול. This one would go and he would pray for long hours in front of the Amud, and he would be screaming in such passion and fire. וזה התפלל בלחש עם ציבור כדרך ההמון. And this one he prayed with the people, with the minyan, right? And he prayed like the regular people pray. וזה הרבה בתורה יותר, וזה הרבה בצדקות ופדיון שבויים. This one went and he learned Torah non-stop, and this one would go and he would do tzedakah, and he would redeem Jews and set hostages free. וכיוצא בזה שינויים רבים לאין מספר. So like we're going on here, tons and differences between all the students of the Baal Shem Tov. ואף על פי כן שכולם ינקו מרב אחד. Even though they were all pulling from the Baal Shem Tov, they were all pulling from one place. Big differences between them. But the important part here is that they had peace amongst all of them. They were just different. כי אי אפשר שיהיו כולם שווים. It's impossible that all of them should be equal. כי כל אחד עובד את השם כפי מידתו וכפי שורש נשמתו. Everyone's serving Hashem according to his midah, according to where he's rooted, according to where his soul comes from. וזה עיקר שהשואב יתברך. This is the main aspect of the pleasantness and the delight that Hashem takes in this world. שיש לו צדיקים כשרים הרבה בעולם שכל אחד ואחד עושה לו נחת רוח ותענוג ושעשוע מיוחד מה שאין בחברו. Hashem loves it that he has a ton of kosher tzaddikim in this world, and everybody's doing nachat urach and ta'anug. Everyone's doing what they need to do and giving Hashem a little bit of pride and some happiness and some delight, and it's all unique in a sense that what I do is unique to me, and my friend doesn't have that point. He has another point that's unique to him that I don't have, and Hashem loves it that we're all like that. זה בחינת ישראל אשר בך יתפאר. Israel, it's in you that I will be blessed, I will be glorified. שהם כלולים מגוונים סגיים. The fact that Am Yisrael is completely filled with tons of shades of light and expression. כי אין הקדוש ברוך הוא עושה שני דברים שווים. Hashem does not make two things equal, two things the same. רק כל אחד יש לו דרך ונתיב כפי שורשו ברצון העליון. Everybody has their path and their lane that they have to go in according to where they're rooted in this supernal will. אבל הבעל דבר הוא מתגרה ומתקנא בחבורת הצדיקים הקשרים ומכניס בהם מחלוקת. The יצרה יימח שמו, the evil inclination, he starts to tease and bully and he gets jealous of this group of tzadikim, kosher tzadikim, and he starts to put amongst them מחלוקת. ועיקר המחלוקת הוא מחמת שכל אחד אינו מאמין בחברו שגם כוונתו רצונו לשם שמיים. What is the main aspect of it, of this machloket? That every single one doesn't believe in his friend, that his intention is really to the will of heaven. ואף על פי שאין חברו מתנהג בדרכו רצונו. כי הבעל דבר מטעה הלב עד שנדמה לכל אחד שחברו חולק עליו ונוטה מן האמת. Even though this is the case, right? That your friend doesn't act according to your will. He's not a Breslev, he's not a this, he's not that, right? He's machloket, he's different than you. There's the Baal Davar, the Satan wants to come and confuse you and to make your heart lean into a place that it makes it seem as if your friend has a machloket on you and as if he's going off of the truth, right? If you're not a Breslever, if you're not a Chabadnik, then you're not aligned with the truth, and you're different, and that's not okay. Chas v'chalil. כי הבעל דבר הוא נרגן, מפריד, אלוף ואיש מדנים לחרחר ריב. Yetzer Hara, his whole entire intention is just to make a fight between Jews. כי ההולך הוא מסכסך בזה בזה. He goes and he makes a disagreement between this one and that one. והוא בין אחים יפריד. He wants to come between the brothers to make them not so in love, and not so one, not so much peace between them, to make them fight more and more. עד שלפעמים יש שני בני אדם, שניהם רוצים רצון אחד. So you have a point where you have two people that they want the same thing. They want the same thing. ואף על פי כן יש ביניהם מחלוקת גדול. Even though that's the case, they have a big disagreement. How could it be? מחמת שכל אחד אינו יודע שחברו רוצה גם כן בזה. Only because everybody doesn't know that his friend also wants the same thing. ואינם מתוודעים יחד לדבר אחד עם חברו לגלות דעתו ופנימיות רצונו. They don't sit to talk together, to have that dialogue, to realize when they start to reveal the internal will that they both have, it's the same thing. They won't sit together. They won't even sit down to talk it out. מחמת זה נדמה לחברו שהוא אינו רוצה בזה. And because of that, because they're not willing to sit, then it appears that my friend doesn't want what I want. מחמת זה נעשה ביניהם מחלוקת גדול. Because of this, it becomes a big disagreement between them. עד שאחר כך אפילו כשמתוועדים יחד, אי אפשר לאכול אחד, לגלות לחברו פנימיות דעתו ורצונו. Until the point that they have such a disagreement that they come to a point that they could even sit together. And they're sitting together, but they're not able to go into the inner chambers of their hearts and to reveal their inner will that they really do want the same thing. כי מחמת הקטטות ומריבות והקפדות שביניהם אין אחד מהם יודע ומבין רצון חברו שבאמת אין שום שינוי ביניהם, ודבר זה מצוי כמה פעמים. Since there's such a disagreement here and there's such this hold here, right? Then they're not able to really sit down and to understand that in truth my friend, he's no different than me. He wants exactly what I want. And this we found many times, says Rabbi Natan. והכלל, the rule is שעיקר מחלוקת מחמת שינוי רצונות. The main aspect of מחלוקת, of disagreement, is because of the change in the wills. כל זה מחמת שאין מקשרים כל הרצונות על שורש הרצון שהוא רצון שברצונות. All of this has happened is because we don't connect all of the wills back to the will of wills, which is Hashem's will. כי באמת ראוי לדעת שכל הרצונות של כל בני אדם, אף על פי שיש ביניהם שינויים גדולים, אף על פי כן כולם נמשכים לרצון העליון שאין בו שום שינוי. Even though you have a will, and I have a will, and he has a will, and they all seem different, where do all the wills come from? From the will of wills. So they all come from the רצון העליון. And there's no change at all. It's just one simple will. שהוא בחינת רצון שברצונות. This is the will of wills, רעבה דרעבין. רעבה דרעבין is a nickname for סעודה שלישית. סעודה שלישית, right, the third meal on Shabbat, that is the point where you get to רעבה דרעבין. The desire of the desires, the most choicest time of the whole entire week, right? And it's an aspect of Keter. The night of Shabbat is Bina, you sing a lot of songs and you're yearning and you're excited for Shabbat. The morning is Chokhmah, you're relaxed, you're chilling. And then you get to the point of Seudah Shishit where it's both of them together. There's this yearning and the singing, but there's this also like this bitul of like
it's going away.
Right? It's everything together. It's all this, right? And again, Chokhmah on the one side to have bitul to Hashem, on the other side to have Bina, which is yearning and longing to connect to Hashem. That's a machloket. It's a stira. And it's either everything's Hashem or it's all about you trying to get better. And right? They seem different. In Keter, in the space of Keter, the Ratzon and Ratzon is rooted in Keter, right? It's Ratzonot, the Ratzon of Ratzonot, the will of wills, right? There is this place that there's no difference between everything being Hashem and you having to long and to yearn to do better. Whoever knows this and believes this completely, for sure will not hold on to any disagreement between him and his friend. Because you're going to judge his friend constantly, favorably. You're always going to find the good in his friend and see how there is this point between us that's connected. He's going to say in his heart, באמת וחברים מעכב מזה, אף על פי כן גם כוונתו לשם שמיים, כי יש לו דעה אחרת, ונדמה לו שאין זה מצווה כלל, או צריכים לעסוק במצווה אחרת גדולה מזאת, לפי דעתו. I want to do this mitzvah, and I want to do it with all my will, and I think this is the right thing to do, but I see that my friend is opposing me a little bit, right? I have to believe that for him, his intention is also for the sake of heaven. Why? Because either he thinks that it needs to be done in a different way, according to the halacha, according to the Shem Shamayim, or he thinks that it's not that important because there's a different mitzvah that's more important to be doing right now. But his intentions are kosher, and his intentions are for the sake of Hashem, according to what he understands in his mind. מאוד, ויש לי ראיות והוכחות אמיתיות שצריכים להחזיק ביותר בדרך זה במצווה הזאת, even though I am very strong in my consciousness, and I even have proofs and evidence that the way I'm doing it is the right way to be doing it in this mitzvah. And I want to hold on to the path that I'm on. אף על פי כן, אפילו אם האמת הוא כדעתי, מי יודע מאיזה שורש נמשך חברי? Even though, even though it's the truth is according to my opinion, right?
My friend could have a different truth.
My friend could have a different truth. Who knows where he's rooted? He's rooted in a different place, but up there, it's all one. There's no difference. So he's revealing a different desire of Hashem in this world. He's revealing a different will in this world. When it comes down to this world, there's already differences. Up there, it's all one. So according to my revelation, according to what I understand, I'm doing exactly the right thing, and I can even prove it to you. But who says that he's not too? It could be that according to where his soul is rooted, he has to act in a different way. Because the truth is, all of the wills, all of the opinions and all of the wills in this world are all pulled from this place of the supernal will, but we just don't understand this. If everybody would just say this in his heart, that everyone's one up above, and there's no difference up above, for sure there would be a nullification of all machloket. כי עיקר המחלוקת הוא מחמת שאין מקשרים כל הרצונות הרצון העליון, ששם כולו חד ושם כולו שלום, כי הכל נכלל באחד. The main reason that there's disagreements in this world is because people are not connecting all of the wills back to the supernal will, which that is the place that everything is one, everything is unified, and that is the place that everything is in peace and completion, and everything is included in the one. ועל כן, עיקר השלום הוא על ידי הצדיק הדור הגדול במעלה. Therefore, the true aspect of completion, right? Shalom is really completion. It's not peace. Peace is not the right word. Peace is a lack of war. Shalom is shlemut. Is wholesomeness. It's not a lack of anything. It's just whole. Peace is already a lack of war, a lack of problems. Right? So the main way of completion is by way of the tzaddik ador gadol b'ma'ala, the true righteous person that is very, very lofty. Shu b'chinat Moshe. This is the aspect of Moshe Rabbeinu, shenishmato b'chinat ra'ava dera'avin. Moshe's soul is this aspect of the will of wills. רצון שברצונות. שהוא יודע רצון כל אחד ואחד מאיכן הוא נמשך. He knows the will of every single person. From where is it being developed? Where is it pulled from? ועל כן הוא איש אשר רוח בו. Therefore he is the ish asher ruach bo, the person that the spirit is in him. שיודע להלוך נגד רוחו של כל אחד ואחד. He knows how to go against the spirit of every single person. He knows the flow of everybody's ruach. Where does their soul come from up above? כי יודע רוחו ורצונו של כל אחד ואחד. He knows, right? Why is the emphasis here on ruach? Because the ruach is like a desire, it's like a will, it's changing, it flows, right? Moshe Rabbeinu, he knows, meaning the tzaddik ador, right? That he has the aspect of Moshe Rabbeinu. He knows every single person that's going to come in front of him. He knows where he's rooted. He knows what his desires is. He knows where he's pulling from. He knows how to take you as an individual and to take your desires and your will and to connect it back to the will, the supernal will in Kadosh Baruch Hu. And then comes another person in front of him and he's able to talk to him and understand how he's different, but he's also rooted back into this supernal place. There is where he connects and ties and unifies everybody back to the supernal will that is one. And then there's a pulling down of love and completion, a wonderful completion and love between both of them. Since now you go to the tzaddik, and the tzaddik knows how to connect everything back up to the top, So when he sees you and he interacts with you and he connects you back to the top, and then he sees you and he connects with you and he connects you back to the top. Now all of a sudden there's a revelation of love and peace between everybody down below here, because everyone's really back in the top. And now that you're connected to the true tzaddik and he's able to connect you back to your source, now there's a revelation of love and peace down below, which is this aspect of the desire of desire, the will of wills. In every single generation, there is a tzaddik that knows how to go against the grain and against your desire looks different, your desire looks different, you want this, you're rooted here, you're rooted there. In every generation, there's one who knows how to do this. By way of him, there should be peace in the world. By way of this, everybody will return back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Everything is dependent on shalom, on peace. Like it's explained somewhere else. By way of completion, by way of shalom, you can pull the whole entire world to serve Hashem. By way of shalom, which is this aspect of desire, of love, of unity. By way of this, everybody is included in this divine will that is one up above. And there's a nullification of all the powers of the Yetzirah, that their whole entire nursing, where they nurse from and get their energy from, is from the difference in opinions, from the difference in desires. That's where he pulls from. Again, where does machloket l'shem shamayim come from? Machloket l'shem shamayim. You have machloket the kedusha, which is two tzaddikim trying to get to the truth, right? And then from there is the root of machloket shelo l'shem shamayim, a machloket that is just difference of opinions, and we don't even see eye to eye because I don't think that we could see eye to eye, but really we want the exact same thing, right? That is the whole entire place. So the Yetzirah comes and starts to nurse from that place because of that. The Yetzirah nikra machloket. The Yetzirah is called machloket.
It's from the Mishnah, I can't remember where exactly. The Yetzirah makes machloket in order to mess up everybody, to not be able to find the real tzaddik. Because everybody has machloket. You think they can't be.
They can't be one.
Yeah.
וביטול היצרה הוא על ידי השלום. The nullification of the יצרה is by way of shalom. ועל כן גדול השלום מאוד כמו שהפליגו אבותינו בכמה מקומות. Therefore, that's how important peace is. Like the rabbis taught in a few different places, right? The only vessel in the world that can hold a blessing is shalom. Right? That's it. There's nothing else. No other vessel in the world can hold bracha like shalom. אבל כשורע בעל דבר שנמצא צדיק כזה הוא בחינת רע ועד רעבין, just like you brought us right now. You had intention of the tzaddikim in your head, right? Since the Satan sees that there's such a tzaddik in the world, he's the aspect of the will of wills. He can make peace between everybody. As and he arouses a machloket on that tzaddik, that people should look at that person and have machloket against him. עד שהכל חולקים עליו ביותר מעל כל העולם. And he becomes the number one thing of machloket in the world, this tzaddik himself that can make peace and get rid of all machloket. כי באמת הכל רחוקים ממנו, in truth everybody is distance from him. כי כל אחד רחוק מחברו מחמת שינוי רצונות שבינו ובין חברו. We're separate from one another because we have different opinions, we have different desires, we see it as different desires instead of just seeing it as different revelations of the same desire. You don't believe that my will and your will are both rooted in the one will. אבל השינוי והריחוק שבין האדם לחברו הוא מעט מאוד, כי ברוב דרכיהם הם שווים זה לזה בתאוותיהם ומידותיהם, רק שיש איזה ריחוק ושינוי ביניהם. The majority of the times, really, we're equal. Your desires and my desires, your wills and my, it's not that different. We're pretty aligned, right? It just appears that we're so different. But really, humans are humans, right? Like, we pretty much want the same things, right? There's a very tiny difference between what you want and what I want. It's not that much of a difference. אבל מזה, הצדיק הגדול, הכל רחוקים לגמרי. From this big tzaddik that's able to make peace, everybody's far from him. Why? כי הוא מרומם ומנוסה מכל שינוי הרצונות של כל בני העולם. He is much loftier and more elevated than all of the difference in opinions of the majority of people in the world. He's very distant from the whole entire world. He doesn't want this world at all.
He's not down to earth, basically.
He is down to earth, but he's so down to earth that he's rooted in Shemayim. He's not, right? He doesn't have any desire in this world. His desire is supernal desire. It is the Echad HaPashut, right? He's always included in the supernal will, which is the aspect of the will of wills. Whoever believes in this tzaddik and wants to come closer to this tzaddik, then everybody is able to find themselves inside this tzaddik. He's the root of the soul of Israel, and he has everybody included in him. All 600,000 neshamot are inside this one person. He is the will of wills. What is this will of wills? It's the supernal will that inside of it is enclosed all of the wills of the souls of all of the people in the world. When the Yetzer Hara finds this tzaddik, and now he puts inside the hearts of everybody to have machloket against this person, right? Then the biggest machloket in the world is against the tzaddik ador. He's so far. Again, we're talking about wills, right? My will is this will, your will is that will. The tzaddik also has a will. But how much difference is there between my will and your will when we're both acting like humans? Not that much difference. How different is my will and your will from his will, which is the supernal will, which is the one? It's a big, huge difference, right? It's a giant difference. So it seems that, there's machloket. I want this, this, and this, and this. And he wants a completely different thing that has nothing to do with this world. So that's the biggest machloket that we can have. The biggest difference is between what I want and what the tzaddik wants. Everybody has differences in opinions and different wills, different desires in their life, and it changes. He doesn't. He has just one desire, Hashem's desire, and there's no changing there. It's all one. Therefore, everybody's making machloket on him, and they can't tolerate him. Again, don't forget, what are we talking about here? Yosef and his brothers. They're all tzaddikim. They're 12 tzaddikim, and his father and his mother. They're all tzaddikim. They all want Ratzon Hashem. Right? But Yosef says, all of you are going to bow down to me. What? How in the world could that happen? This is the aspect of the machloket of the tribes with Yosef HaTzadik. Because Yosef HaTzadik, Yosef was this tzaddik. Again, Yosef, he's rooted in Yesod. Yesod is the place of Shalom. Tzaddik Yesod Olam, B'chinat Rabba de Ravin, the aspect of the will of wills, B'chinat Moshe, Yosef, Moshe, David, Yosef, Moshe, David, Kulam B'chinat Echad, they're all one aspect. Shenistalku Shloshtam B'Shabbat, B'mincha, B'Rabba de Ravin. All of them passed away on Mincha of Shabbat, which is this aspect of the will of wills. So that Shishit starts at Mincha of Shabbat. Rava de Rabbi, in the will of wills, desires, this place of Keter is revealed there. That's when they all three passed away. All of the tribes, even though they were great, giant, awesome tzaddikim, even though that's the case, they all had to be connected to him. They had to connect to Yosef. This is the aspect of connecting all of the desires in the world back to the root of desire, which is done by way of Yesod, which is done by way of Yosef HaTzadik. This is the holy elderly man. Yosef HaTzadik, which is the aspect of Yosef HaTzadik. Because he's Ben Skunim. Ben Skunim is a child of when the father is of old age and he has a child. It's called a Ben Skunim. Yosef was Ben Skunim. Ben Skunim Daika, specifically Sheshosho B'chinat Zaken Shebekdusha. He's rooted in this Zaken Shebekdusha, this old person in sanctity. There's the old person in
already homeless.
There's this old man in wickedness, and that's the Yetzer Hara. He tries to make you old and think about all your traumas and all your past and everything that keeps you in the past, instead of letting you renew yourself constantly. Yosef HaTzadik is the Zaken B'Kedusha, which is the Metzach HaRatzon, the forehead of will, B'chinat Rava de Ravin. things in Kabbalah that are above us, right?
Machman says by Spear Messias that they called on when he was supposed to come down.
Which Sipur?
So I forgot which story. Seeing a story that there was a neshama that's supposed to come down, and they asked around all over heaven, and everybody said they could come down. And they asked the Yetzirah, and asked him, said, if you bring him down, there's no reason for me to stay. So he brought an old. So he came back after. They said that he needs to come down either ways. It's already made up. So he brought an old guy, and he was laughing, and he said. That's how they feed it. So probably this is the same.
There you go. Aspect of Yosef HaTzadik. זהו בחינת מה שסיפר להם יוסף חלומו. This is what the aspect of Yosef telling over his dream to the brothers. והנה אנחנו מעלמים, מלומים בתוך השדה. We were making what's it called? Sheaves? Sheaths?
For sheep?
No,
For your sword?
wheat. No, that's a sheath, right?
Yeah.
Sheaves. Sheaves of wheat. They were making these bundles of wheat. והנה כמה אלומתי, and my sheaf, right? Is that it? Got up. והנה תסובנה אלומותיכם ותשתחוון אל אלומתי. And all of a sudden, all of your bundles of wheat turned around and they bound down to my bundle of wheat. כי כל השבטים שהם כללות ישראל מקשרים קשרים ומייחדים ייחודים שהוא בחינת התקשרות רצונות יחד. Right? What is this bundling of wheat together? This bundling of wheat is all of the tribes, which are the whole general aspect of the nation of Israel. They all connect and unify their unifications back to this unification of all of the desires to one. Right? Every tribe has its different desire. Every part of Am Yisrael has its different tribe, but they're all trying to make them into bundles to take them back to Yosef's bundle, right? Bring all of your desires back to Yosef HaTzadik.
There's a lot of different ways, and they're all ends up connecting to one.
נכון. אבל כל הקשרים והייחודים צריכים לבוא לצדיק הדור שהוא בחינת יוסף. All of the ייחודים, all of the connections and all of the unifications have to make it back to the tzaddik of the generation, which is the aspect of Yosef. שהוא בחינת ראווה דראבין, he's this aspect of the will of wills. שהוא מקשר כל הקשרים והייחודים לרצון העליון. He connects all of the connections and all of the ייחודים to the supernal will. בחינת והנה תסובנה אלומותיכם ותשכבנה אל אלומתי. Here it was that all of your sheaves turned around and they bowed down to my sheaf. Therefore, this dream was in this idea of the work of the field. The rectification of the field is by way of the illumination of the supernal will. Obviously, there's immense depth here that we're not getting. Right? What is a sadeh? What is a forehead? What is the illumination of the will? By way of this, there's a nullification of all of the 39 aspects of work that are forbidden on Shabbat. Because you don't have to do anything. The world exists by way of Hashem's divine will. How do you get away of the defilement of the snake? The snake, the Yetzirah, that wants to make you have to work hard in order to get your bread by way of the sweat from your brow. How do you do all of that? By connecting everything back to Yosef HaTzadik. See guys, just want to make a little thing for the people watching online. You see how safe Eretz Yisrael is? We have bombs going off here and we're in Dveikut with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, learning on a balcony Torah. Baruch Hashem. Zeu b'chinat halom sheni. This is the aspect of the second dream. Right? That was the first dream. It was all of the sheaves bowing down to his sheaf. The second dream is here it is the sun and the moon and 11 stars bowing down to me. What does it mean, the sun, the moon, and all the stars bowing down to Yosef? That is a nullification of nature. How does science and all of the people that are involved in this world and everything that's connected to this, how does that even work? It's all according to astrology. It's all according to the stars. Right? The sun, the moon, and 11 stars bowing down to me. According to the development of the elliptical circles and cycles of right? The orbits of the star, the moon, the sun, the moon, and all the stars. Like Rabbi Nachman wrote in the second book of Likutei Moharan, in the fourth teaching, Samu ototam otot. They made their signs. Ototam otot. They made their signs. They pretty much everything's according to the horoscope, right? They say everything's according to the signs that we have in heaven, meaning the horoscopes. Chas v'shalom. God forbid. Shuhu ateva. This is nature. Right? Yes, astrology is real. Yes, Jews are engaged in astrology, and we pay attention to the changing of the times and the eclipses and lunar and solar and solstice and all these different things. Yeah, we pay attention to them, but that's all nature. Everything is really according only to the will of Hashem Yitbarach alone. How do all of those horoscopes and stars move and constellations move? According to the will of Hashem. They're nature, but it's the will of Hashem. Right? Hashem Yitbarach makes the world work according to His desire. Like the Chazon Ish said. The Chazon Ish said, what is Teva? What is nature? It's the most consistent will of Hashem. It's the most consistent desire. Hashem, like, so to say, He desired to press autopilot, right? And that's it. It's going. But it's the most consistent will. It's meaning, what does it mean most consistent? Most consistent means that there's a pause. It's not, can be like, when we see, right, the world, it says, Kadosh Baruch Hu is consistently, same thing, right? Recreating the world. So how do we not see it? Not every day, constantly, every minute, every second, right? But how fast is that?
1/60th of a blink.
Exactly, faster than when you see. It's not even a blink. How does vision work? A light is sent out of your eye, it hits something, and then the light comes back, and your brain determines and develops with its imagination what is it that you saw.
Before that light even could be read by your brain, it's already changed.
Right? Before your brain can read the image that it gets back of light,
it's already anew.
The world is recreated, we're created. That's how fast Hashem is creating the world. Faster than you can see, right? Like we know, anybody who knows film, there's no such thing as video. Video is a bunch of images, right? It's just, all there is pictures. There's no such thing as video at all, right? Video is, how fast can you put all of those pictures together? But there's no steady stream of vision. It's always just snapshot. That's an amazing thing that we don't even realize. Right? The sun and the moon and the stars, that is where nature is pulled from, right? Water, the waves, tides, winds, everything happens because of the movement of the stars and the galaxies, right? But that's all according to the divine will. Shemisham shorash Yosef. That is from where Yosef comes. Is the sun and the moon and the 11 stars that are bowing down to me, says Yosef HaTzadik. The nature only happens by way of the supernal will of Hashem, which is the aspect of the will of will. That is where Yosef HaTzadik comes from. Beautiful teaching. Baruch Hashem. Let's see, hopefully we can keep going just for the Haftarah. In the Haftarah, there's a pasuk that says, "Rak etchem yadati mikol mishpachot adama." Only you I knew from all of the families of the land. Talking about Am Yisrael. Yikar hadat hu achdut shel chasadim ugvurot. The main aspect of consciousness is the unification between chesed and gvura, loving kindness and a little bit more stringency. Shezen yikra dat. This is what's called dat. That there shouldn't be a disagreement between chesed and din. Make a blessing on everything that happens in your life, whether you had a good thing happen to you or something that seems a little bit harder. You make hatov v'ametiv. You are good Hashem and you do good. This is what it means. Hashem is one, and His name, and meaning His expression, is one. Yudke Vavke is one. His expression in this world is one. Like the Rabbi said, like the Rabbi said, in the future there will be complete unification, complete oneness and unity. Everything's going to be atov v'ametiv. Everything's going to be, you're good and you do good. And this is the aspect of Hashem Echad U'Shmo Echad, B'chinat Elokim, Malchut. Right? This is the aspect of Hashem is one and His name is one, His expression is one, which is this aspect of Elokim, Malchut. Right? שכמו שכתוב, ויעש דוד שם, David made Shem, made a name. Echad is gematria Ahava. 1, 13 is gematria 13, which is also the gematria of Ahava, of love. Hainu hen, hey shehu rachamim. Hen Hashem shehu rachamim. This is Hashem, which is mercy. Hen Shemo shehu b'chinat Elokim. Right? Yud Kei Vav Kei is Hashem. Hashem Echad. Ushmo Echad. And his revelation is one. What is his name? Elokim. B'chinat Din, which is the aspect of Din. Kula letovatcha. All of this is for good. Echamat Ava Kadosh Baruch Hu Ohev Otcha. Since the love of Hashem loves you so much. He loves you so much. So one could do, like it's written, Et Asher Yahav, Hashem Yochiach. Like the one He loves, Hashem will rebuke him. Meaning, if He doesn't love you, He just lets you get the black Amex, like the snake. Go do whatever you want. Don't talk to me. This is what it's written. Only you I knew from all of the families of the earth. Therefore, I will redeem you all of your iniquities, which will lead to Geula. And with that, we want to wish all of the kochot miuchadim that they'll have success to bomb the hell out of our enemies. Amen. Which is the ratzon, the will of wills. Amen. Ken Yehi Ratzon. Baruch Hashem.